Someone is watching a stick figure video right now. No face, no expensive camera, no studio, no actor, no complicated animation team. Just a simple drawing moving across the screen, while a voice explains something the viewer suddenly cannot stop thinking about. But the real answer is stranger than AI can make videos now. The real skill is not pressing one button. The real skill is building a machine where one idea becomes a script. The script becomes a voice. The voice becomes timestamps. The timestamps become images, and the images become a video people actually finish watching. That is the part most people miss. They think faceless videos are easy because the character is simple. A circle head, two dot eyes, a line body, a few arrows, a giant word at the top of the frame. But simple does not mean lazy. Simple means every part has to be clear. A Stickman video works because the viewer never has to fight the screen. They can understand the idea before they even finish hearing the sentence. The drawing does not compete with the narration, it supports it. That is why this format is powerful. It turns complicated ideas into tiny visual decisions. A fear becomes a monster. A business model becomes a machine. A bad habit becomes a little villain with angry eyebrows. A mistake becomes a red X. A smart move becomes a green check mark. Your job is not to make the most beautiful video. Your job is to make the clearest video. And AI can help you do that faster than almost any other format. So you start with the idea, not the tool, not the animation app, not the image generator. The idea. A weak idea creates a weak video, even if every frame looks perfect. A strong idea can survive simple drawings because the viewer wants the answer. The best Stickman videos often begin with one uncomfortable question. Why do you keep procrastinating even when you know it hurts you? Why does passive income almost never feel passive at the beginning? Why do people trust simple drawings more than polished presentations? Why can a fake online business look rich while secretly losing money? The question is the hook. It should feel close to the viewer's life. It should make them feel like the video is about something they already experience, but have never fully understood. Then you write the script. This is where most people go too fast. They want the visuals first because visuals feel exciting. But the script is the spine. If the script is weak, every image will become decoration. A strong script for this format is simple on purpose. Short sentence. Short sentence. One sentence that gives depth. Then a question. That rhythm matters because the viewer is listening while looking at simple drawings. If the narration becomes too crowded, the screen cannot carry it. Richard Mayer, a psychologist known for research on multimedia learning, argued that people learn better when words and visuals work together instead of overwhelming each other. In plain English, the brain has limited attention. If the audio, image, and text all fight at once, the viewer gets tired. So the script must breathe. You do not write like a textbook. You write like you are guiding someone through a thought. You make one point at a time. Then you turn each point into a picture. This is the whole secret. A line in the script should already suggest a frame. If the script says, "Most people chase the tool," the image can show a stick figure running after a giant shiny button labeled tool. If the script says, "The system matters more than the prompt," the image can show a tiny prompt box feeding into a giant machine labeled system. If the script says, "Your viewer is confused," the image can show a stick figure surrounded by question marks and tangled arrows. You are not making random art. You are translating sentences into visual metaphors. That is why Stickman videos work so well. They let you show abstract ideas as simple cartoons. Before you generate anything, you create the visual rules. One main character, one consistent art style, one background style, one color palette, one type of on-screen text, one kind of arrow, one kind of expression. This is boring. It is also what makes the video feel professional. If every frame uses a different character, the viewer has to keep relearning the world. If one frame looks like a children's book, the next looks like a corporate slide, and the next looks like anime, the spell breaks. Consistency is the difference between a video and a pile of images. So you make a character reference first. A simple stick figure standing in a neutral pose on a white background. Big circular head. Dot eyes. Thick eyebrow lines. Thin line body. Simple hands. No realistic face. No detailed clothing. No texture. No shadow. No 3D. This reference becomes your anchor. Every image prompt should describe the same character style. Every frame should feel like it came from the same hand. Then you choose the visual language. White background for explanation, dark blue for night or fear, tan for ancient or historical examples, green ground and blue sky for outdoor scenes, red text for danger, yellow arrows for labels, black text for statements, green check marks for correct choices, red X marks for mistakes. Now the viewer does not have to think about what the colors mean. They learn the language quickly. Red means warning. Green means correct. Yellow means look here. Black arrows mean follow this process. A thought bubble means inner reaction. This is how a simple video becomes easy to watch. The psychologist Alan Pivio proposed dual coding theory, which is the idea that people process information through both words and images. In plain English, when a viewer hears the idea and sees a simple picture of the idea, the memory has two handles instead of one. That is the strength of doodle videos. They make ideas easier to hold. After the script is written, you record or generate the voice. You can use your own voice. You can use an AI voice. You can use a calm narrator voice, a more energetic voice, or a documentary-style voice. But the voice needs to fit the video. A Stickman explainer does not need screaming. It needs clarity. The viewer should feel guided, not attacked. Once the voice is ready, you create a time-stamped transcript. This step matters more than people think. A timestamp is not just a caption. A timestamp is a production command. It tells you exactly where the image changes. If the transcript says, the idea, that frame needs to show the idea. If it says, the tool, that frame needs to show the tool. If it says, the pipeline, that frame needs to show the pipeline. Every timestamp becomes one prompt. This is where the process becomes mechanical. One timestamp, one image prompt, one frame. Do not skip timestamps. Skipping timestamps creates holes in the video. The narration moves, but the visuals do not follow. The viewer feels the mismatch, even if they cannot explain it. A good Stickman video feels synchronized. The voice says the thing, the screen shows the thing. The viewer understands the thing. That loop repeats hundreds of times. Now you write the image prompts. Every prompt needs the same style anchor. Hand-drawn 2D doodle cartoon animation, flat colors, bold black outlines, slightly imperfect sketchy marker lines. That line tells the image model what world it is in. Then you describe the frame. Who is there? What are they doing? What expression do they have? What object is centered? What label appears? What arrow points to what? What background color is used? What text appears at the top? You need to be specific. Do not write, show a business idea. Write, white background, simple stick figure holding a tiny light bulb while a black arrow points toward a machine labeled business system. Bold red text at top reading, not just an idea. Specific prompts create usable frames. Vague prompts create junk. Then you add the style lock. No photorealism. No 3D render. No gradients. No drop shadows. No textures. No realistic faces. No anime style. 16:9 aspect ratio. Educational YouTube explainer doodle style. This lock keeps the image model from drifting. Because image models love to drift. They add shadows. They add realistic faces. They add glossy 3D. They add textured paper. They add weird hands. They add gradients because gradients look fancy. But your video does not need fancy. It needs consistent. Once the prompts are made, you generate the images. This is where you have to act like an editor again. Do not accept every image. Reject frames with messy text. Reject frames where the character changes style. Reject frames where the meaning is unclear. Reject frames with weird hands, strange faces, or unreadable labels. Reject frames that look too realistic. The AI is fast, but it does not know your standard unless you enforce it. Your job is quality control. Then you bring the frames into a video editor. CapCut, Premiere, DaVinci Resolve. Any editor works if you can place images on a timeline. You drop the narration audio first. Then you place every image at its matching timestamp. This is the moment the video becomes real. The stick figure does not need complex animation. Small motion is enough. A slight zoom, a pan, a quick cut, a shake when danger appears, a pop-in for arrows, a red X appearing over a mistake, a green check mark landing on the correct choice. Simple motion keeps the viewer awake. But do not overdo it. Too much movement makes the video feel cheap and frantic. A Stickman video should feel like a drawing is explaining the idea, not like the screen is begging for attention. Then you add captions or on-screen text. Not every word. Only the keywords. The top of the frame might say, "The system," or "Bad prompt," or "Why it works," or "Do not skip this," or "The real money is here." On-screen text should be big. It should be short. It should be readable on a phone. Most viewers will watch on a small screen. If the text is tiny, it might as well not exist. The cognitive psychologist George Miller famously wrote about the limits of working memory, often remembered through the idea that people can only hold a small number of things in mind at once. The exact number is debated, but the lesson is useful. Do not overload the viewer. One frame, one idea, one visual point. That is the rule. If the narration has 5 ideas in one sentence, the frame should still choose the main one. The viewer should never wonder where to look. Now comes pacing. A frame can last 1 second if the line is short. A frame can last 4 or 5 seconds if the idea is important. But a frame should not sit too long without changing. Modern viewers are trained to expect motion. They may not need chaos, but they need progress. So you use visual progression. The same scene can hold across multiple timestamps. First, the stick figure sees the problem. Then the arrow appears. Then the red X appears. Then the solution appears. That is better than changing to a completely different scene every 2 seconds. Holding a scene helps the viewer feel continuity. It makes the video feel planned. The final edit should feel like a chain of tiny, clear moments. Not a slideshow. Not a random collage. A chain. Then you add music carefully. The background music should not fight the voice. Low volume, simple loop. No busy vocals. No sharp sounds that distract from narration. Sound effects can help. A pop for a label. A click for a checkmark. A whoosh for a transition. A tiny error beep for a red X. But again, the rule is clarity. Everything supports the explanation. Nothing fights it. Then you export the video. Before you upload, you watch it like a stranger, not like the creator. A creator sees effort. A stranger sees friction. Ask brutal questions. Does the hook make me keep watching? Do I understand the video without rewinding? Does every frame match the sentence? Does the character stay consistent? Is the text readable? Does the pacing drag? Does the ending feel complete? If the answer is no, fix it. The best AI creators are not the ones who generate the most. They are the ones who delete the most. They delete weak frames. They delete confusing text. They delete boring intros. They delete anything that does not serve the viewer. This is why faceless AI videos are not automatic money. They are a production system. The system is simple. Choose a strong idea. Write a clear script. Generate a voice. Create a time-stamped transcript. Turn every timestamp into one prompt. Generate consistent frames. Sync the frames to the audio. Add small motion. Add readable text. Export. Study the analytics. Make the next video better. That last part matters. Analytics are the royalty report of video. They tell you where people clicked, where they stayed, where they left, what title worked, what thumbnail worked, what topic earned attention, what moment lost them. Do not take it personally. Use it. A video with low retention is not calling you stupid. It is showing you where the audience got bored or confused. A video with high retention is not magic. It is showing you what to repeat. The serious creator studies the pattern. Maybe your hooks work, but your middle drags. Maybe your visuals are clear, but your titles are weak. Maybe your first 30 seconds are strong, but your ending fades. Maybe your audience likes business topics more than psychology topics. Maybe the stick figure frame with a giant machine performs better than the frame with a plain chart. The data tells you what the viewer felt. You build from that. And this is the real reason Stickman videos are one of the best formats for AI creators. They do not require perfect realism. They do not require actors. They do not require locations. They do not require expensive cameras. They require clarity, consistency, and taste. AI can give you speed, but speed is not the same as skill. Skill is knowing what to ask for. Skill is knowing what to reject. Skill is knowing how to turn an idea into a sequence. Skill is knowing when a simple drawing explains more than a beautiful image. That is the hidden truth. The stick figure is not the shortcut. The stick figure is the language. A language made of arrows, labels, faces, colors, mistakes, reactions, and tiny visual metaphors. Once you learn that language, one idea can become a video. One video can become a channel. One channel can become a library. And one library can become an asset. But it starts with one clear frame, a circle head, two dot eyes, a line body, a question at the top of the screen, and a viewer who suddenly wants to know what happens next.